Someone is following you around. Has been for a few nights, maybe longer. That can't be a good thing. The only question is what to do about it. You venture out to the street with the goal of letting your stalker know you're aware of being followed. It's time to stop this ridiculous charade. It's raining outside, and as you step onto the street in front of your haven, you wonder whether that'll help you. Will you be able to see the footprints of your stalker in puddles on the ground? Not sure where to start, you slip a few bills to a homeless man and chat up the guy who runs the local bodega. Both of them talk your ear off about strange characters hanging around, but none of their stories seem right to you.
Wait, one moment.
Walking the streets, you're convinced by turns that everyone you see is an enemy agent out to get you, and that your stalker has decided to take the night off. Frustrated after a couple of hours of useless searching, you cross the road without looking where you're going. A courier on a motorbike zooms towards you and has no time to brake or swerve as you suddenly step in front of him. For a split second, your eyes meet those of the man on the bike and you both know you'll collide. You'll get hurt. Something hits you, pushing you forward. You tumble, flying to the sidewalk as the courier zooms past. You feel a weight on your back, catch a glimpse of something, a person, female you think, and then she disappears. You could spend a couple more hours trying to find the woman who's been stalking you, but in your shriveled, undead heart you know it to be futile. She's gone. Sophie requests your presence tonight, and it seems urgent. You find her already waiting for you and clearly pondering something. It takes a few minutes of awkward silence before she speaks. I require your assistance, Eric. There is a matter of great importance that I need to ask you to resolve for me. You will find what I'm about to say surprising, I'm sure, but I need you to hear me out. I need you to contact an important anarch figure in New York City and arrange a meeting for us.
Wait. I'm pretty sure we're not supposed to meet anarchs. We're at war, right?
The prince does look unfavorably at those who meet with the anarchs. That much is true. You will find that with this, as with many other things, the Camarilla's policies have more than their share of hypocrisy inherent in them. It comes hand in hand with using medieval power structures. What we are forbidden to do, the prince may do willingly. Some of these things can be done in the open, while others are kept secret as to not invite discord and discontent. I need to contact a man named Torque. He is an influential member of the movement, and, like most of them, very suspicious of the Camarilla. That's why I'm sending you to extend my invitation.
How do I know he wouldn't talk to me?
He won't. Not yet, anyway. You need to start further down the chain, and with the right story to spin. From my limited sources adjacent to the movement, I've gathered that your best chance to speak to Torque is to first meet with his right-hand woman, Mia. She's a regular at a club called the Leech Pit. I think it would be best if you presented yourself as an anarch hopeful, a fledgling looking for a place of belonging. Only after you talk to Torque directly should you mention my name and the meeting.
I don't think that's the right approach. Lying to them won't make them trust me. When they find out the truth, they won't be happy or eager to work with us.
That might be true, but if you tell Mia outright that I sent you, she's likely to cut you off. She hates our sect, and it will be difficult to make her listen to reason. After tonight, I suggest that we do not speak of this again until you arrange the meeting. There are many who would jump at the chance to use this against us. With Kaiser, you've proven you can get the job done, even if it requires additional legwork. I trust you to deal with this task as quickly and covertly as possible. Forgive me, that's all the time I can spare tonight. What I'm asking of you is just part of a bigger whole. Trust me, it will all be worth it.
Okay, I'll do my best.
I know you will. Check with Gregory for the address of the leech pit. Have Mia introduce you to Torque. When she does, tell him I wish to meet. Let him pick the time and place, but let it be soon. If he proves too guarded, tell him I have something that will help him gather allies against Boss Callihan. That should pique his interest. Good luck. And obviously, not a word about this to anyone else. Not even any new friends you might have made in recent nights. This stays between us. The way she says that final sentence suggests a not-so-veiled threat, but her warm smile belies that impression. You want her to keep trusting you. You wouldn't want to disappoint her. Gregory gives you the address. The club is in Brooklyn. Apparently it's some kind of heavy metal bar with a dedicated concert space. Time to pay this Mia a visit. The place is teeming with people tonight. You arrive in the middle of a concert. The music is loud, almost deafening, and it takes you a while to get used to it. You recognize a phrase or two of the lyrics and realize that you know the song they're playing. A poster confirms your suspicion. It's a Life of Agony tribute band, and they're not half bad. A group of a few dozen patrons are tightly packed together. The smell of their sweat and youthful, excited blood overwhelms you momentarily. It's with some difficulty that you turn to the task at hand. You've heard your share about the Anarchs and how they fit into Hindu politics, but you only have your short encounter in Corona Park in which you take your actual opinion of the faction. That might have been just a horrible first impression, but you're keeping your guard up, just in case. First things first, the atmosphere of this place is distracting you, with the beast nagging to be fed. If you were to put your best foot forward, you'd best get that need out of the way, temporarily. The place brims with opportunities. You decide it might be easiest to just grab a somewhat drunk concert goer that strikes your fancy and see whether they'd be willing to indulge. Sure enough, you chat up the tipsy patrons and hit it off quickly, augmenting your charm with the power of your blood in the interest of time. You don't think you know. She'd been waiting for her boyfriend when he hasn't shown. She was pretty much ready to dump him anyway, so hey, here's to new beginnings. Another vodka shot disappears down her throat. She kisses you on the mouth. It's super sloppy, and the alcohol in her breath is overbearing. You take your chance and kiss her neck, then bite down. Yeah, her evening's drinking definitely colors the way her blood tastes. Alcohol and melancholy, not a combo you're unfamiliar with. Somebody smacks you on the head and rips you off the girl just as you lift the wounds closed. He throws you to the ground. Uh-oh, it's the boyfriend. The argument they get into as your victim seemingly immediately sobers up gives you the chance to mix in with the now dispersing crowd. The concert is over. A hand on your shoulder. You instinctively tense up and prepare to dodge the punch. Instead, you come face to face with a lengthy woman in a jacket 2 sizes too big for her frame.
Liddy?
Follow me behind the bar, Lick. I've got a few questions, and you'd better give me snappy answers if you know what's good for you.
He leads you through the bar to a back door that leads into a side room. Indie metal band posters are plastered on every wall, some of them 20 or more years old, judging from the tour dates. An old, sticky table and some rickety chairs are the only pieces of furniture here.
Sit down.
I think I'm comfortable standing. Thanks.
She shrugs her shoulders.
Do it yourself.
She leans against one of the walls.
The name's Mia. I'm guessing your visit here isn't a happy coincidence. I don't know you, so you're either new in New York or kept an outstanding low profile. Both sound suspect. So before we take these pleasantries further, answer me this. Who do you run with?
Sophie Langley's my patron. If that's what you're asking.
Langley, huh?
She looks you up and down. It's hard to read her.
Well, Langley means Carmarilla, and Carmarilla means trouble. So let's get one thing out of the way.
She leans in.
If this is some clever ploy to just oust me from my domain, or if you're just here to spy on me and the movement, I'll make sure that you don't enjoy undeath much longer. Got it?
You can tell it's a purely rhetorical question.
Right. Here's the pitch. The Camarilla likes to think they're the vanilla option. What with the prince bitch Panhard pretending that they were always in charge. But New York has never been a fully cami city. They might have won the city in '99, but camps have had their asses handed to them many times over the years, and the movement has been here at least as long as they have. Hell, I moved to New York City before World War II, and that was good after I saw Camarilla for what they are, a way to keep us all subservient and in line. The Ivory Tower will tell you that they're only safeguard for the traditions, and that's kind of the problem. There's only one tradition we in the movement feel should be respected. The Masquerade, obviously. Everything else? Ask the prince. And she'll tell you it's the logical continuation of the Masquerade. But really it's just a way to keep the elders powerful and in control.
She grimaces.
But here's the thing. For all the talk of us bloodsuckers being solitary creatures, we need a community to keep up the Masquerade. Community, yes, but authority? Not so much. We need a council of peers to keep the assholes and power-drunk fledglings in check, but not a feudal prince to tell you where to feed or who to hunt down when they step on her toes.
She takes a brief break from her indignant rant.
It sounds too good to be true.
Mia bares her teeth in a predatory smile.
You better believe it. Sure, we still have to struggle with the urges of our kind, but it's safer and more fair. We're as free as our condition permit. And unlike autarky, we don't stand alone. Nominally, a guy by the name of Callihan has been overseeing the movement's agenda in New York City for the past few decades. Most follow his lead.
So, what you're saying is I should talk to Callihan?
No, I'm saying you should talk to somebody else. If you're concerned about being well received in this city, you might need to go through Callihan. But if you're serious about the Anarch cause itself, he's not your guy. Callihan eats up fledglings like you and shits out self-preservation. His position as Baron is mighty shaky now, not least due to the fact that he backstabbed more than his share of allies. So he's doing what any other old fart in the position of power would do. He's doubling down. Negotiations are out. Intimidation is tightening ranks as a precaution against the Second Inquisition.
She surprises you by hacking and spitting on the ground in disgust.
If you've spent some time with the Cams, and that should sound very familiar to you. He's no better than Panhard and her cronies are at this point. No, you need to contact Torque. And wouldn't you know it, it's your lucky night, because I'm the lick to do it through.
Twerk, huh? Why him?
Because he's one of the good guys. Or at least as good as we leeches can be. Torque is a leader, a local baron who's overseen a small domain, but doing a very good job of it. Callihan knows this, so he's giving him shit. Torque is taking it like a champ. He's smart like that. For one of us rebels, he's got the patience of a saint. Makes you think back how things used to be, way back when, if the stories are to be believed anyway. You want to meet him? I'm gonna require a show of goodwill first.
That's fair. What do you have in mind?
She flashes you a mischievous half smile.
I appreciate your readiness, but I don't have the details just now. Ask me at the bar when you're able. I'll leave something for you and we'll take it from there. Now come on, I gotta go.
She walks you out of the bar and you go your separate ways. Seems like there's nothing more to do than return here later and see if Mia really can help you contact Torque. You're in your haven when the intercom rings. Answering cautiously, you hear an older male voice.
Jordan? Okay, duck then.
Hello? I'm calling because a friend asked me to come by and offer you my services.
Who is this?
It's not important.
The man sounds strangely excited, breathing hard.
I need something to go on.
You told me not to talk about these things in public. I know you're one of them. Please. It's alright. I don't mind. You can drink with me, if you understand what I mean.
A man you've never seen before is paying a visit to an apartment not many people know of, offering for you to feed from him.
Let's continue this face to face.
That's a wonderful idea.
Silence. A minute passes and you hear a knock on the door to your haven. You cautiously open the door. A stranger looks at you sheepishly. He's in his 30s, dressed in a clean business suit. He looks moderately successful, someone you could meet at an investment bank.
I'm sorry. I didn't want to intrude, so that's why I called from downstairs.
You know what? Come in. I was hungry anyway.
The man looks comically satisfied as you usher him into your haven. He barely waits for you to close the door before he loosens the collar of his shirt, closes his eyes, and bares his neck in quivering expectation. You look at the man, taken aback by such forwardness. Figuring that you didn't invite the man here for a chat, you lean closer, take him by the shoulders, and sink your fangs into him. This is not an unpleasant way to feed, you reflect, as the blood flows into your mouth. The food comes to your door of its own volition. The man moans as you drink from him, lost in the ecstasy of the kiss. It feels a little unseemly, but it would be churlish to begrudge him his pleasures. Taking care not to drink too much, you let go of the man after licking his wounds closed. Suddenly, you're startled by a surprising sight. A woman, not very old, strangely dressed, is looking at you intently, only an arm's length away. Before you can react, the mysterious woman opens your front door and vanishes from sight, leaving you to wonder whether you really saw her at all. As you stare, confused, the man you drink from slips out of your haven and into the hallway, staggering a little from the effects of the kiss. You close your door, wondering what that was all about. At least you got to feed, if nothing else. You arrive at the leech pit, finding it less rowdy than the last time. The bar is still packed, but the dance floor is empty tonight. Instead, the old, crackling speakers are playing music that would probably sound like noise even on high-end hardware. Mia is nowhere to be seen, but you do remember she requested that you ask for her at the bar. You approach the bar as the bartender finishes pouring a beer for an older guy in a faded, fraying Iron Maiden t-shirt. She turns to you.
Nika,
What can I get you?
I was told to ask about Mia at the bar.
Yeah, well, she's not in tonight.
She looks you up and down, and a spark of recollection shines in her eye.
Oh yeah, that's right.
She takes a well-worn book from behind the counter, some kind of YA vampire novel, and flips through it. She produces a piece of paper from between the book's pages and passes it to you.
You told me you'd be interested in reading this.
You find a relatively quiet corner and take a look at the note. T wants to meet you. I'll arrange it, but you need to prove you're trustworthy. Look around the leech pit for a guy named Bruce. Buff dude, tattoo sleeve on his right arm. I'm 90% sure he's somebody's retainer, sent here to spy on us by the can. Get me the name of his master and write it on this card, then return it to the bar. It doesn't take you long to locate this Bruce guy. He sits alone in a corner, 2 beer glasses already empty on his table. You take a moment to consider your approach. The man immediately notices you but doesn't move from his spot. The other seats are empty. When you focus the blood to boost your attractiveness, it's not just Bruce who notices. He's into you. So are other people, doing double takes as they pass your table.
Jordan,
Hey, you... Have I seen you before?
possible. I'm a regular at this joint.
Oh, are you? That's weird. This place is kind of a dump.
I know you're here because someone asked you to spy on this place. You make me really happy you give me their name.
What, you mean Sam?
He catches himself, realizes what you're doing. His eyes dart over your shoulder. You thought you had him cornered, but he suddenly leaps over the table in one smooth move and dashes through the sparse crowd. You catch up to him outside. He's bolting, all right. You dash after him, relying solely on your muscles and general fitness. Bruce doesn't seem to care much about the masquerade. The speed he's going at would give Usain Bolt to run for his money. You cannot hope to catch up to him this time. He takes a sharp turn into a side alley, and by the time you reach it, he's already gone. Time to leave something for Mia. You borrow a pen from the bar and flip Mia's note to the other side. Sam. That's all you got. It's not much. Could be the full name or a fragment, male or female. Well, it's something at least. You could pull a name out of your ass or let Mia figure it out. Mia asked you for a name, but if all you have is a fragment, it'll have to do. We're gonna... yeah. You jot down a note. Bruce referred to his master as Sam. You pass the piece of paper to the bartender. She sticks it back in the same book.
Hold on 1 second. She wanted me to pass something on to you.
She produces a cell phone from behind the counter. It's ancient, at least 15 years out of date.
Oh, right, and this.
An old charger for the piece of junk in your hand. They really did think of everything.
She said she'll be in touch.
It takes you a moment to remind yourself how to operate this thing, and you find that its phone book is blank. There's no Wi-Fi connectivity and no saved messages. It's got a version of Snake, though. The bartender is already over at the other end of her domain, taking orders from patrons. With your Anarch contact nowhere in sight, you decide to move on for the night. Hopefully, your educated guesses based on the scraps of info you collected will be enough for Mia to call you. The streetlights filter into the apartment in a stark white glow, as if someone were shooting a movie outside. The art pieces display a tasteful expense entirely fitting the image you have of Sophie. It feels as if 1,000 sins have been committed on these premises, most of them under her benevolent hospitality. Sophie comes to greet you as you enter the living room, shaking her head. You understand that people judge me based on how you dress, don't you? Sophie looks at your clothes as if resigned to your sartorial limitations.
And other things to worry about than shopping for clothes.
Sophie walks to the window and looks out, the streetlights playing on her features. She reminds you of a queen contemplating the unfortunate limitations of her subjects. You'd think that as a vampire, at least we wouldn't have to worry about the vultures and the press. Unfortunately, when you have power and ability, there are always parasites trying to feed on you.
Is the reporter after you?
Yes, a terribly persistent creature. Sophie steps away from the window and settles down on a sofa, a wine glass with red liquid in it. Blood, treated as not to spoil. You become good at noticing the scent, even from a distance. She doesn't offer you any as you cautiously sit down across from her. This awful man has been stalking my apartment with a camera. He's gone through my trash, talked to the neighbors. Please be a dear and explain to him that there's nothing for him here.
Is this about the masquerade? That's a big deal for us, right?
Indeed, you're learning.
This must happen often. How do you usually deal with it?
Everyone has their own way. Sometimes the problem goes away with a bit of money or sharp words. Other times, you need something more.
You know anything about this reporter? Man, woman, young, old, anything like that?
All gossip reporters look the same to me. Time for you to go. I have business to attend to. You leave the apartment as Sophie disappears into another room. You don't have a clear idea of the game she plays with the city's mortal and immortal power structures, but she always seems to be making a move. Outside on the street, there's a slight warm drizzle, the kind that gets under your clothes and makes you want to take a shower when you get back to your own haven. No reporters immediately jump out to you. You start with the basics of investigative work. You ask the proprietor of the bodega around the corner, the homeless man sleeping in a nearby doorway, and the doorman of another building whether they've seen anyone strange. Detective work produces results. You get the description of a man who sounds like a reporter. Older, overweight, pasty, and in bad physical condition. Professional camera. Once you know what you're looking for, it's not difficult. You spot a man who matches the description and follow him. You enter an alley, a dark, dingy space between two tall buildings. Once upon a time, a place like this might have worried you, made you think of muggings and violence. Now it's clear that the most dangerous thing here is you. The man you're following seems to realize this too. He holds his camera in front of him like a shield, its heavy objective resting on his paunch. With a start, you recognize him. You remember the face, the shaded sunglasses from a picture next to a byline in some trashy paper you were reading to kill time. Something about celebrities, scandal, sex. His name is Frank Dougherty. You saw him on the street one time with a camera outside a nightclub, probably waiting for someone important to come out so he could take their picture.
Duck.
Hey! Don't go around scaring people like that!
You're Frank Dougherty. I recognize you from that thing. You're a fake reporter, right?
I'm a real reporter, damn it!
So, reporter, huh?
Yes. Democracy dies in darkness, as they say. It's a noble calling. Do you live here? I'm working on a story about a local resident. Her name's Sophie Langley. Everybody knows her in high society circles. She's a redhead, pretty as a picture, and there were a lot of pictures of her through the years, if you know what I mean. That's the thing. In fact, look at this.
Frank pulls out his phone and starts showing you pictures. Some have been downloaded from news sites, while others are photos from the society pages of newspapers from past decades. All show Sophie. She has different clothes, hairstyles, makeup, names, but the face remains the same.
You're a stalker of some sort.
Come on, I'm just doing my job.
You must have a theory about what's happening.
I have a theory or two, but before I print my theory, I need facts to back it up. 3 words. Extreme plastic surgery. All the celebrities do it. Only her doctor's better than the rest.
You look critically at the photos on Frank's phone.
You thinking the world's best plastic surgeon is working out with this alley?
Okay, fine. I don't know what this is about. So how would you explain it?
You consider the possibility that those pictures are a hoax?
Sure, anything can be a hoax. But I dug up those old papers from the archives myself. I gotta have something usable.
Frank, I'm trying to help you. I'm trying to give you something you can work with. Take it.
Frank is clearly taken aback by the change in your tone, but he's a gossip reporter. He's used to people trying to push him.
Look, I'm a reporter. You can bluster, but you can't hide the truth.
I'll tell you one more thing about Sophie. She's good at suing people. Do you think I can afford a lawsuit?
This job is all I have. Don't do this to me.
It's your choice. I'm not your enemy. Deceased, and there won't be any trouble.
brutality of your tone. He has been intimidated many times before, but he also knows that sometimes the threats are real. This time, he senses you're not kidding. He's just an aging man trying to salvage a career.
Alright, you win. I hope you and Sophie Langley have a happy life.
Deflated and hunched over, Frank drudges away from the alley. You stare at his receding figure. It's hard not to feel sorry for him. In Sophie Langley, he took on something way too powerful for a small fish like himself. A piece of paper is sticking out of your mailbox. It's a computer printout, a note, and a screenshot from Google Maps. It reads, "Meet me at the indicated spot tomorrow at 10 p.m. I'll pick you up and we'll take it from there." No signature. The place marked on the map is the lookout point near Pier 1, just next to the Brooklyn Bridge. You check the phone that Mita passed on to you. No new messages, no missed calls. It's all a bit fishy, but there's only one way to find out who addressed this to you. Looks like tomorrow evening has been planned out for you. You come back to your haven after a long night out. Right before you open the door, you notice something strange. The sounds of television are coming from your apartment. Mad Men, if you're not mistaken. You open the door and carefully peek in. A young, disheveled woman is curled up on your sofa. She has a blanket pulled on top of her and seems very comfortable. Next to her lies an obviously unconscious, preppy woman.
Oh, you're home.
The woman reaches for the remote and puts Mad Men on pause.
You weren't home, so I started without you. You know, Netflix and chill. Join me. There's space on the sofa. I bought us a snack. You enjoyed it last time.
The woman points lazily to the unconscious girl.
Oh, I forgot. My name's Adelaide. Adelaide Davis. I like you a lot. Help yourself and settle in.
Adelaide makes space on the sofa as you sit down between her and the unconscious mortal. You lean to drink from the girl as Adelaide uses the remote to turn Mad Men back on. The girl moans sleepily as you drink from her, but doesn't wake. Her blood tastes pleasant and unhurried, a far cry from the adrenaline of blood you get by hunting a victim who knows you're coming. As you lick the girl's wound closed and sit back on the sofa, Adelaide lies down and rests her head in your lap.
Isn't this nice?
I always liked Mad Men.
Me too. It reminds me of another life, long ago. Even if it wasn't quite like on the show, I remember more blood and screaming.
You watch the show together, taking small sips from the human every now and then. You didn't know vampires could spend time like this. The door to your apartment opens. Your mind is elsewhere, and you react slowly. Sophie strides into your living room. She has a key to your haven and never bothers to knock, of course. You're shacking up with Adelaide Davis, the scourge of Snug Harbor, in the flesh. This is a new low for you, fledgling. I'm embarrassed for you, really. Perhaps I should not be surprised.
Is not what it looks like.
It looks like you're cuddling with trash. Adelaide leaves the room, making sure to give as wide a berth to Sophie as possible. Sophie waits for the door of the apartment to close before she speaks. The Clan of the Moon. Did I not advise caution when dealing with them? As you watch, Sophie makes a phone call. 10 minutes later, 2 of her servants arrive to remove the unconscious girl sprawled on your sofa. You clearly need my help. It won't happen tonight, but let me see if I can resolve your stalker problem for real. You're left to wonder what Sophie meant by that as she leaves your haven. You go downstairs as soon as you wake up. One more glance at the phone, but no news from Mia. You take the car down to Brooklyn, park on Front Street, and approach the meeting spot cautiously. A figure of about Mia's size is standing there, dressed in an oversized jacket and looking out toward Manhattan. As you approach, you can hear her muttering something.
Natalie? Wait, Mia?
Has
Is it
someone done
me?
Mia?
Wait, dude. I guess that is Mia, or... Yeah, go ahead, Lenny.
Okay. It is true, but I do not think it true. If I do not think it true, then it cannot be true. And if it cannot be true, then...
Hey, Mia. Is that you?
The woman turns around. It's not Mia. Whoever it is, you've never seen her before. She looks perfectly plain and unmemorable.
Alright, Natalie.
It is not her. It is you. You are me, and I am you. And we are her, and we are here.
You turn around. 3 men, all of them burly and threatening, approach you. One of them takes the lead.
Jordan.
So, got the message.
I did. What now?
Now you'll come with us. The boss wants to meet you.
Oh, you mean Torque?
What? You gotta be shitting me. Torque ain't the boss of jack shit. I mean boss Callihan, you dumbass. I suggest you get a move on. We've got places to be.
The voice of the woman keeps creeping into your consciousness, the litany of gibberish ever present throughout this entire conversation. The man cracks his knuckles.
Or we can do it the hard way.
Yeah, okay, I'll go with you.
Smart.
They lead you down the pier and onto a motorboat. The engine starts.
Put this on.
He points to a cloth sack. One of the guys is holding you down. The woman is still there, whispering to herself. Somehow, you hear her voice clearly in your head. It becomes a nagging suggestion to put the sack over your head. You don't really want to do it, but your hands go through the motions all the same. It takes 15 or so minutes to reach your destination, you think. The engine dies down, and you're led on shore and then further, up an incline and through some overgrowth. 10 more minutes of walking, maybe, until a deep voice reaches your ears.
Duck.
Vincent, my dear boy, why the hood over our guest's face?
Well, boss, I thought...
No. That will not do. How many times do I have to repeat myself, Vincent? You don't have to think. You have to listen and do what you're told. Yes?
Yes, boss.
Well, take that ridiculous sack off their head, will you?
The hood comes off. The owner of the deep voice is a curious sight, dressed in what can only be described as Victorian clothing, with a monocle and graying red hair. Is this Callihan?
Apologies for Vincent's unacceptable behavior. He can be a little thick sometimes. Isn't that right, Vincent?
Yeah, boss. Sometimes a little.
I believe you already know who I am.
Nope, just a dumb-looking motherfucker.
A fist hits your stomach like a meteor. Were the hit any harder, you're pretty sure your spine would snap like a twig.
Much obliged, Vincent. Let's get these pleasantries out of the way, shall we? I am Douglas Callihan, the Baron of New York City. You shall refer to me as Boss. Everybody who knows what's good for them does. Now, let me make myself perfectly clear. I am disappointed in you. Truly disappointed. But I arranged this meeting to allow you to make amends. First, though, I have to make sure you understand what your infraction was. So, do you know why you're here?
Because I work for Sophie Langley?
Ah, child. Why would I give a shit-stained dime that you work for that dried-up whore? That's not it at all. Torque is the reason you're here. Or that little angry strumpet of his, I'm told, yes? Mia. Oh, how I'd love to get my hands on her gaunt neck and wring it until it breaks. But see, I'm a statesman, and that's not the prudent thing to do. No, indeed, the prudent thing to do is tolerate both her and that blasted ebony-skinned mentor of hers. Look at what the world has become these nights. Here I am, lambasting a black man and a woman in front of a whelp of Asian descent. My papa, rest his soul, would not believe it.
Finished for your disgusting rant?
Oh, fledgling, you have no idea who you're messing with.
He looks at you with rage in his eyes, and you feel insignificant and vulnerable. An irrational fear takes over you. You cannot speak up against this man again. You just can't. He's too terrifying.
Now that I have your full attention, I will request something from you, and you will obey me to the letter. But that comes later. First, you will answer a few questions. The first of which is, who pointed you to Mia?
Nobody. It was my idea.
Oh, really? And what was your intention behind the meeting?
I want to contact Torque. Had to go through Mia.
Ah, yes. The so-called veteran loves to use petite girls to hide behind, I heard. That would check out. What did you end up discussing?
She wanted me to do her a favor. To grill a guy named Bruce about his master's name.
Oh, is that so? Vincent, do we know this Bruce?
I don't know no Bruce, boss.
Why am I not surprised, Vincent? I'll investigate this myself later. See, that wasn't hard now, was it? Of course, I can't be sure how much of what you told me was true, and how much of it is worth about as much as yesternight's horse shit. But I'll find out. I always do. When I do, we'll have another one of these nice talks. And maybe, just maybe, you'll avoid this upcoming unpleasant episode next time.
He gives Vince a sign, and the burly man starts hitting you all over. You feel teeth, ribs, and fingers break. Your foot is mangled under Vince's boot. Your shoulder dislocated, your nose wrecked.
That's enough, Vincent. Leave him be.
He snaps his fingers in front of your face a few times and checks if you can focus on his face. You can, but barely.
I am a man of principle. Another night, I would perhaps put you in a casket, dip it in concrete, and dump it in the Hudson. A favorite of mine during the roaring 20s. Ah, it's been a while. But, like I mentioned before, I am nothing but prudent, and so the interests of this city's kindred must come before my own needs and wants. I will therefore let you continue your existence. Here's what I require in return for this boon. You are forbidden to meet Torque. I'll keep an eye on him. If you want a place with the Anarchs, you go through me, and only me. Got it? You have to understand, what I made my associates do to you tonight was just business. We can still work out a mutually beneficial relationship. In fact, it's either that or your final death. Time to go, Vincent. Take the boat back. Leave the fledgling here. I think they have a lot to think about.
Sure thing, boss.
Pleasure making your acquaintance.
Callihan walks away, as do Vince and his band of thugs. You lie on the ground for a while longer, feeling the blood slowly putting your body back together, your hunger growing. You can hear the beast calling for sustenance, for safety, for revenge, a distant but pronounced third desire. It's not until you mend yourself enough to appear more as a mugging victim than an impossibly mangled walking cadaver that you hail a passing taxi and head back to your haven. The whole way there, you're tempted by the beast. Your driver, a 30-something with a strong Slavic accent and an unpronounceable name on his ID, keeps asking if he should drive you to the hospital. You keep declining, all the while thinking that if you only ask him to pull over for 5 minutes, you could feast on his warm blood to the beast's content. Drink him whole. Nobody would know. Nobody but his wife and kids, if he has them. Nobody but his boss and co-workers. Nobody but you, as you look in the mirror tomorrow. Keeping your hunger at bay was never before as difficult as it is tonight. The driver stops at your apartment building. There's nobody around. You can do it. Do it. Now. Now! You pay the driver and walk out. Fast. Leave the car behind. Don't look back. Look back. Walk back. Feed. No. Through the door. Up the stairs. Key in the lock. Open the apartment. Walk in. Lock yourself in. The familiar four walls of your haven are a blessing. The beast inside you keeps nagging, but you kept it at bay tonight. Not a small feat, given your state. You are still weak. You're still not quite mended. You need to rest. Tomorrow, you'll have to feed again. Tomorrow, you'll have to consider your next move. Callihan is not the kind of man who quits. But tonight, you rest. Waking up tonight feels different for two reasons. For one, you're pleasantly surprised that your body mended reasonably well while you were resting. It comes with a caveat, though. The hunger you feel is pronounced. The beast like a black dog on the edge of your vision, following you. But what is truly remarkable is waking up to the tune of an old cell phone ringtone. An unknown number is calling the phone you got from Mia. You pick up.
Kept that old thing charged.
Oops.
It is me, right?
Yes.
Okay. Kept that old thing charged after all, huh? You alright?
Yeah. For the most part.
Cool. So, got some good news for you. Torque has agreed to meet you. There's a pub in Bronx. Solids and Stripes. Be there tonight. 2 things. No drinking on the premises. So if you want to grab a snack, do it before setting foot in the borough. And this is an exclusively no powers meeting. We'll be rubbing shoulders with commoners the whole evening. And also, we don't trust you, so keep it casual, or you'll blow it. Anything you'd like to add?
Yeah. I met Callihan yesterday. He kicked my ass and forbid me from meeting Torque. I'm not sure I should be there tonight.
Silence on the line.
Fuck.
More silence.
I can't promise you any protection on your way there or back, but at the pub you'll be in Torque's domain. For all this posturing, Callihan doesn't have the balls to strike Torque directly. We'll post additional lookouts on watch. That's the best I can do. If Callihan got under your skin, I get it. I was in that spot once or twice too. And I've got to say the risk is worth it. If you don't show tonight, I won't blame you. But it's a one-time offer only. You gotta hedge your bets. And don't do anything stupid. You meet with us tonight, it better be in good faith.
She ends the call. First things first, you take the subway to York Street Station, walk to Front Street, retrieve your car, and weigh your options while driving back to your haven. You've been doing this for a good few nights. You're getting a feel for it. You're learning what kind of predator you are and what kinds of blood you crave. You're so caught up in yesterday's problems and this cloak and dagger debacle you're now part of, that the hunt feels almost automatic and casual tonight. A fragment of you surrenders control. Just minutes after you find your victim, coax them, and drink from them, you find you've forgotten their face and how they were dressed. It only hits you once you look at yourself in your car's rearview mirror. This was wrong. You can't let this become the norm. You hurt somebody. A human being. You're a monster. You need to stay mindful of this. You're a monster, but unless you let yourself off the hook, you can hold on to your humanity and not let yourself slide down the spiral. Instead of clearing your mind, this clouded it further, and you're still no closer to a decision. Dangerous or not, you have to make the trip to the Bronx and meet with Torque. No detours. Best just get it over with. You take some basic precautions as you enter Torque's turf. You park a few streets over from where the pub is and walk towards it while keeping an eye out for anyone suspicious. That kindred, for the most part, look no different than regular people. Makes things complicated, of course. If you're being followed or watched, it's going to be hard to tell. You reach the pub, shoot a final glance around. There's nobody suspicious around as far as you can see, and open the door. The smell of cigarettes is overwhelming. The whole place has an aura about it, a constant fog hanging right under the ceiling. The lethargic fans do nothing to disperse it. The constant crack of billiard balls and clinking of glasses tells you all you need to know about the clientele. Not a very vampiric place at all. You're wondering if you got the address right. You apparently did. Mia's here. She motions you over to one of the few tables around.
Took your sweet time to get here. What, got cold feet? Never mind. Anyone follow you?
We're just supposed to place lookouts to verify that.
We did. Got word of you coming in a few minutes ago. I'm just checking if you paid attention. Before I introduce you, there's some outstanding business to discuss. You did well enough at the bar, I guess. There are plenty of Sams in this city, but I think I have a good theory of who it was who sent Bruce to spy on me, so thanks for that. Torque was happy enough with the results you got too. Here's your chance. Don't blow it.
You walk toward one of the tables. A guy in a coat and hat leans over to take his shot. He's way ahead of his opponent. The table is clear of his balls, save for the 8-ball in a tricky position.
Hey, they're here.
Jordan.
Be with you in just a moment.
The hit is fast, precise, and sends the black ball exactly where its player wanted it. His opponent lets out a frustrated sigh.
That's that. I believe that's 150 American dollars, Joey. You want to pay up now or up the stakes again?
The disgruntled man accepts his defeat and pays up, then declares he's going to grab another beer.
To the victor go the spoilers. Thank you kindly.
He turns his full attention to you. The man is good looking, somewhat gaunt and intense. His eyes especially seem to pierce right through to your core, but not in an unpleasant way.
Name's Torque. I believe you're Eric, Sophie Langley's new plaything. Is that right?
You're in Anarchs too? How does everybody always know that?
Word travels fast when you care to listen, fledgling. We wouldn't be talking tonight if I hadn't learned that a long time ago. Forgive my being real with you right off the bat, but I like to know who it is I'm dealing with. So here's something that I've been scratching my head about. If you're with Langley and Langley's cam through and through, I'm told what it is you've come to accomplish here tonight.
Sophie Langley wants to meet with you. Don't ask why, she didn't tell me. She just said it has something to do with gathering allies against Boss Callihan. I'm here to arrange that meeting.
The fuck? I knew nothing about this. T, they lied to me.
Mia's furious. She's looking at the pool cue and at you as if she was figuring out the best combination for the two.
It's fine. I appreciate the honesty, even if you weren't straight with my second in command. That I don't appreciate. Well. Ain't that an interesting proposition?
You can't be seriously thinking about meeting with Langley. She's hard-lighting Cam. It's a trap. It must be.
It just might be. It just might.
He looks at you, pierces you with his unnaturally keen eyes. He's about to say something when a door opens at the back of the room.
Hey Torque, you got a guess. In the back.
Mia, won't you be a dear and keep our new friend company? I'll see what the commotion is.
Sure thing.
Torque tips his hat to you and walks to the back, joining the man who called for him. Mia glowers at you, this time weighing one of the pool balls in her hand. She looks like she has half a mind to chuck it at your face.
You gotta be quite happy with yourself, bluffing your way in here.
Might have started out as a test with Sophie, but I'm glad I could meet you in Torque. Don't hold it against me.
No, I'm totally gonna hold it against you. And for a while. You made it look like a chump in front of Torque. Here I was beginning to think you might be a good addition to our little family. There's a whole lot of trust you'll have to regain before that happens now.
Torque appears from a door at the back and calls across the room.
Yo, Mia, can I grab you for a second? Eric, get over here too.
You go to the back room. It's basically a storage area with a single wooden desk. It's pretty cramped, especially considering there are 5 other people in there with you. Torque ushers you in and closes the door behind you and Mia. 2 burly dudes are holding somebody down. A familiar voice reaches your ears.
Motherfuckers, you're gonna pay for this, you hear me? The boss is gonna fuck you up so bad, you'll have no idea. Have you had the doubtful pleasure of meeting Mr. Cerruti before, Eric?
You could say that.
You're fucked. You're so fucked you don't even know it, you stupid piece of shit. I should have ended you yesterday. The boss told you to stay away. You should have listened. That's a story and a half, ain't it, Vince? Calm down and tell me how many of your guys are still out there on my turf, Go fuck yourself. You are done. The boss will know this stupid piece of shit fledgling came here. He knows they're with Langley. You know what that means, Torque. No, I don't. What does it mean, Vince? Now the boss can wipe you out. He'll just say you're sucking Langley's tits and all those buddies of yours, gone. You're done, Torque. Well, now, if that's the case, I guess ridding NYC of your toady ass won't make things any worse, will it? Actually, there's an idea. Vince mentioned that he beat you up yesterday. Did I hear that right, Eric? You want to repay the favor?
Gladly.
Go right ahead.
You hit Vince once, twice. He's chuckling in the beginning, but you focus your blood for some extra oomph and keep hitting him. Again, more, until he stops laughing. He's bruised, battered, and broken. The two Anarch dudes let go of him and you kick him some more while he's on the floor. You only stop when you hear Torque's voice.
Enough's enough, Eric.
He takes an old pool cue and breaks it over his knee.
Take him and take him downstairs. Let's keep Callihan guessing about what happened to his favorite puppy.
Mia takes a sharp piece of wood and jams it into Vince's chest. His features grow slack, his entire body inert. He doesn't even give out a yelp. The other two Anarchs take him out of the room.
As entertaining as that was, I think Vince, in his unmatched wisdom, shared more than Callihan would hope for. This changes things. Ever heard about Operation Lights Out, Eric? It was a second Inquisition effort here in NYC. A single night of raids at a magnitude never seen before or since. The Ivory Tower got away with just a few losses here and there. No major players were hit. They managed to find safe spots and stay out of the eye of the shitstorm. Us, though, we got hit hard, all over town. Havens were rooted out, entire coteries and safe houses gone. Just like that. Nobody saw it coming. I barely got out in one piece.
Mia looks at him with concern and puts a hand on his arm. He shrugs it off, gently but surely.
Others, like my child Barb, or Mia's sire, extinguished. But you know who got out without a scratch? Callihan. We've thought about it for the past few years. How is it that Big B managed to excuse himself from the Staten Island Museum where we used to meet just before vans full of guys in body armor show up? How is it that as my baby's burning up after being shot with incendiary rounds, I also see Doug Callihan running with his tail between his legs, pushing fledglings like you in the path of the SI? We think the bastard knew what was coming, and he set us up. Not just us. Some of our brothers and sisters who got hit had some of the lowest profiles in this city's lick population. The moral of the story? Callihan is an opportunistic motherfucker, and if he even his thickest followers suggest he's going to sell me out, then that's what he's going to do, as sure as the sun rises.
He pauses for a moment, and you see him reach a decision.
You said something about Langley having an offer from me. It might be your fault in part that I'm at this juncture, but now's going to be as good a time as any to listen to what she has to say.
I don't think that's wise, T.
Well, what would you have me do then?
You said it yourself. It's all this fledgling's fault. They brought this on to us. So let's use them as a bargaining chip. Callihan wants them. Langley needs them. They're valuable.
No, you're wrong. I'm just a pawn. That's why Sophie sent me here. Plausible deniability and all that. I'm expendable.
The realization that you just summarized the entirety of the last 2 weeks or so hit you hard. But if there was a moment to be honest with yourself, it's now.
Fuck!
The man puts his hand on Mia's shoulder. She calms down a bit.
We're afraid, Eric. But then, what else is new? It's a paradox being who we are. The hunter one night, the hunter another, hunted another. Masters of the night, slaves to dawn. A duality to everything. Mia, I understand your concern, but I need you to trust me like you did before. This is my call and my responsibility. You can give me shit about it later, like I'm sure you will.
Count on it.
He smiles, then takes on a no bullshit look and points at you.
3 conditions. First, you come pick me up, personally, and bring me to the meeting spot. Anything goes sideways, it's your ass. Second, Mia's coming with me. No 2 ways about it. 8 eyeballs in the meeting. 2 of you, 2 of us. Nobody else. And third, the meeting is in public. Downtown, some spot frequented by mortals. We see you take us anywhere fishy, we check out and fuck you up as a message to Langley. I count on it not coming to that, though. You seem likable enough. The Cam hasn't gotten his talons in you yet. Keep it up, and maybe you'll come to the same conclusion we did in your own time.
I'll make sure to repeat your conditions to Sophie.
You do that. Best be on your way. Ask for me here when you need me. The bartender knows how to get in touch. Just ask him to put the owner on the line.
Mia walks you to the door and accompanies you to your car.
Listen, about what I said before.
Save it.
He freezes for a second, then shrugs your shoulders.
Your call. See ya.
She starts walking back to the bar as you start the engine and head back to Sophie's apartment. Time to give Sophie the good news. She welcomes you as openly as ever, clearly excited to see you and for what news you might bring. Good evening, Eric. How's your task going? You have something for me, perhaps?
I did what you asked. Meeting's set up.
Excellent. Experience any problems?
Boss Callihan and the goons grabbed me yesterday and forced me to meet with them. It's very clear that I cannot be seen talking to Torque, or he had me killed. I went and did it anyway.
I appreciate your dedication. I really do. I'm sorry if you got hurt. Thank you for following through. Well, let's hear it. What did Torque agree to? You relay the Anarch leader's conditions. You are to pick him and Mia up. The meeting should only include the 4 of you, and it should be held in a public space. Those are all fair enough, although I do worry about that Mia character. Tell me, do you think she's trustworthy?
Well, Torque trusts her, so we can too. I think.
Very well. As for the place, I wonder if they would agree to meeting in Hudson Yards, the vessel. Plenty of tourists visit that place, but if we go there after midnight... She seems to have made up her mind. Yes, bring them there tomorrow night. Look for me near the top level.
You think Torque and me will agree to meeting in the city? It's Camarilla territory. Won't they be too cautious to come here?
They did ask me to pick the spot, did they not? It's public and in the open. They should love it. Pick them up at midnight, then drive back to Midtown. That's the plan. I'll be waiting as long as it takes. Within reason. I'm counting on you, Eric. The final puzzle piece is about to find its way to its destination. After that, we'll all get our just reward. You, me, the Camarilla, even the Anarchs. I could kiss you. Yes, you'd like that. You desire it. She must have caught it in your expression. She smiles. A figure of speech, darling. Or at least it is tonight. But a few nights from now, who knows? I am growing fond of you. And success whets my appetite for these kinds of things. The sexual tension in the room becomes unbearable until it suddenly disappears. Is this another one of Sophie's tricks, or an actual spark of arousal in both of your undead bodies? You certainly felt the blood flow through you for a short moment. The warmth in your groin takes you by surprise. You didn't think you could do that anymore, or did you just imagine it? Use the rest of this night well, Eric, and rest. We are but a day's sleep away from shaking this city awake. Visiting Elysium with Sophie is always a humbling experience. She's connected, well-known, important. You're a nobody. You've always known this, of course, but it's especially apparent when you arrive with her. Everyone notices her, and she drinks it in like it's her birthright. That's Adelaide Davis. Let's go say hello. You spot the woman Sophie is referring to. Adelaide, your stalker. Intense, disheveled, young-looking. A Malkavian, if you've understood correctly. As you approach, Adelaide smiles at you with a darting look of distaste towards Sophie.
Don't worry. I don't judge people by the company they keep.
That's sweet of you, darling. Let me say this straight. You can't keep doing what you've been doing. You have to leave my poor ward alone. Adelaide looks from Sophie to you and giggles. The sound must be rare in Elysium because it makes people glance toward you.
I know she's making you do this. Don't worry. We'll be together again later.
This game plays too much for me. Let's go on a normal date next time.
Sophie turns slowly to look at you, not as disapprovingly as you expected. Perhaps she thinks you're playing a social game, like kindred often do.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Adelaide looks serious, as if you'd forced her out of her comfort zone.
I admit, playing games was easier for me. But I appreciate it. Let's go on a date some night.
Adelaide smiles at you shyly and walks away. Sophie waits a moment before speaking. I hope you know what you're doing. Let me know how it goes. I suppose this will be good for a laugh in these tedious times. You're fairly certain that you accomplished your goal of getting Adelaide to stop harassing you with strange surprises. Whether she'll hold you to the date, only time will tell. You wake up. This is not your haven. It's a cramped space. You try to move your arms and find they are tied to your body. You can barely bend your legs. When you try to stretch your neck, you hit a cold ceiling. You can't quite believe it, but This is a coffin, or something close enough to it. It vibrates slightly, but you can't hear any sounds coming from outside. It's entirely dark.
Hey! Hey! Anyone there? What the hell is this?
No answer, just your voice reverberating in a small metallic space. You're not sure what else you expected. This is bad. Suddenly, the containers move slightly. A moment of silence. An indistinct male voice shouting. A muffled shot. Silence again. The lid comes off.